Hi all, welcome to my channel Semper Astra. My name is Maggie and usually in my videos I talk about topics related to blindness. However, one of my interests is testing fragrances, wearing perfume and also recommending unique perfume discoveries. And this is why today I will share my review of Chocolate Oud 11 from Kayali. Chocolate Oud 11 was released to the market in September 2025 and the nose behind this fragrance is Hamid Merati Kashani. Number 11 that you will find at the end of the name of this fragrance means that Mona Katan, who is the founder of Kayali brand and her team, tested 11 different perfume notes compositions and they decided that 11th composition is the most perfect version of this fragrance. Chocolate Oud 11 belongs to Oudgasm collection, which is inspired by Mona's love to oud. And oud is widely known as one of the most potent, complex, and unique ingredients in the world of perfumery. Oudgasm collection is designed and developed in that way that enables Kayali brand to emphasize richness, complexity, and uniqueness of oud, and at the same time it enables Kayali brand to present this beautiful note in many different compositions with many other different perfume notes. When researching information about Chocolate Oud 11, you will notice that depending on the source, there are either only main notes listed, but you also will be able to find more detailed list of perfume notes. Today I will discuss all of the listed notes for this fragrance, but I will also mention which notes are described as the main notes. The main notes, the main top notes for this fragrance are caramel apple and spiced rum. The note of caramel apple in this composition is very sweet, fruity, very juicy, and I would even say cheerful and luminous. At the same time, the sweetness of this note is very deep, warm, and hugging. When I experience these notes, it reminds me of the scent of baked or dried apples that are sweetened with caramel. The note of spiced rum is emphasizing even more the depth and multi-dimensional character of sweetness in this fragrance. What is more, the note of spiced rum is very beautifully balanced here. On one hand, this note is very bold, very noticeable, but at the same time it is so beautifully toned that it doesn't take away from this fragrance its elegant character. As the top note, there is also the note of mate listed. In my opinion, this note is not very noticeable as an individual note, but it gives this fragrance this beautiful, subtle, herbal and smoky aura, or we could say vibe. The main hard notes listed for this fragrance are iris and incense. Iris in this composition is very velvety, very soft, and very warm and deep. I would say that it beautifully smoothens out this very complex composition. The note of incense here is very bold and very noticeable. It gives this fragrance this mysterious, slightly dark, but at the same time very festive character. Similarly, like the note of spiced rum, this note is beautifully balanced. It is very noticeable, as I mentioned, but at the same time it is not overpowering. As the hard notes, we also have the note of jasmine and cinnamon listed. Sometimes note of jasmine in some compositions can be very bold and very noticeable. However, in this composition, I would say that jasmine is more of the background notes, and it beautifully complements, in particular, the note of iris. And similarly, like the note of iris, it gives this fragrance this flowery gentleness and delicate character. The note of cinnamon, in my opinion, is not very noticeable as a kind of single note. However, it beautifully complements the note of caramel apple, and probably this evokes the memory and the scent of baked or dried apples that are sweetened with caramel. The main notes that are listed as the base notes are note of dark cacao and chocolate oud. The note of dark cacao is giving this fragrance this rich, deep, and sophisticated vibe, and it beautifully complements the scent of chocolate in this composition. Talking about chocolate in this fragrance, in my opinion, this is definitely the scent of the rich, dark chocolate. And the bitter accents that are often associated with dark chocolate are beautifully balanced out by the sweetness of caramel apple and spiced rum. And although this is definitely, in my opinion, the scent of fresh, strong, fragrant dark chocolate, this dark chocolate smells in a very sweet way. The next note that I would like to discuss in more detail is oud. And the note of oud in this composition is multifaceted. It has the accents of resin and smokiness, which beautifully complements the note of incense and the note of mate. The sweet and balsamic aspect of the oud note is complementing and enhancing all of the sweet notes that are present in this fragrance. I mean here the caramel apple, spiced rum, I would even say cinnamon, and dark cacao and chocolate. The sweetness of oud is a very, very deep sweetness that could be probably associated with the sweetness of dark honey with, as I mentioned, balsamic aspects. The third aspect of this note is woody side of this note of oud. And the woody aspects of the oud notes are beautifully complementing the other two notes that are listed as the base notes for this fragrance. And these notes are cashmere wood and sandalwood. All together with oud, the note of cashmere wood and sandalwood give this fragrance this very cozy, warm, woody vibe. Talking about the note of oud, I would like to mention that it is one of the most potent notes which many people find too overpowering. And many people need to start their journey slowly and gently with oud, and when learning to appreciate the note of oud. And this is why Monica Tan developed the scale which enables her to describe and measure the strength of oud in different fragrances that she creates. This scale is called Oudometer, which I believe is a very cute name, and the maximum point at the scale is 5 flames. Chocolate Oud 11 on the scales is only 2 flames, and Monica Tan mentions that it is a good fragrance and a good choice for these people who are starting their journey with oud and who are kind of beginning to appreciate this very strong but beautiful note. The last note that is listed as a base note in this fragrance is the note which is called Signature Kayali Accord. This is a note which is created in the laboratory by the team of Kayali, and this note blends the sweetness, which is very beautifully balanced, and warmth of woods. It is a very inviting and very gentle notes, and the purpose of these notes is to give a unifying ground to all fragrances developed by Kayali. This note is also emphasizing the notes that are particularly cherished by Kayali brand, and it is also helping with the lasting power and projection of KayaliFragrances. Summarizing, I would say that the main strength of this fragrance is the fact how beautifully all of the notes are blended with one another and how beautifully they complement one another. This is a unisex fragrance, and in terms of age groups for which I would recommend this fragrance, I want to make it very clear that it is everybody's judgments what fragrances we feel comfortable wearing and which fragrances we choose to wear. However, I feel that this fragrance is a very, I would say, mature, serious fragrance, and this is why I would be very careful when recommending this fragrance to very young people. In terms of the occasions for which I would recommend this composition, I believe that Chocolate Oud 11 is a perfect choice for autumn and winter months, and for, I would say, quite cool evenings over the summer. Personally, I believe that Chocolate Oud 11 is a perfect choice for very special occasions. Personally, I am planning to wear this fragrance for special outings, for going out to dinner when it is a special occasion, or for some cultural events that are rather formal and I would say rather important. I would also wear it for all of these occasions when I would like to feel sophisticated and confident. In terms of the lasting power of this fragrance, on my skin it lasts up to 10 hours, and on my clothes it lasts until I wash my clothes again. In terms of projection, I would say that the projection of this fragrance is very interesting and intriguing. On one hand, we can definitely feel this fragrance around us, and definitely it is projecting for 8 hours and it is noticeable around us, but it is not overpowering, which is very intriguing considering how many strong notes we have in this fragrance. But in my opinion, it is a perfect combination, because I want my fragrance to be noticed, but at the same time I don't want it to be too overpowering for people around me, and I want people around me to feel comfortable with my fragrance. This fragrance is created and produced in that way that it is never tested on animals, and none of the ingredients in this fragrance are tested on animals, which personally it is very important to me. Honestly, if I were to pick just one fragrance that I would keep for winter months and for autumn months and for more formal occasions, I would keep this fragrance. I would only keep Chocolate Oud 11. And I would also like to show you the box for this fragrance. And I really want to thank you for your attention today, and see you soon in one of my future videos. Bye bye.